Hey, so I'm here in the dog park down at the coastline here, looking out on the amazing coastline at Greystones and the new park that we have, which will be filled with meadow as long as we don't cut it. And here we have one of the other projects, so you can see it there. This is Coola Gad. It's just path of the Coola. Gad is Viking for path, and Coola is the ancient tribe of our area. And check out Yasmin Fortune's website, Glen the Downs Heritage, for loads of information on that. So one of the projects that we're working on is trying to convince Cuilcha and the National Parks and Wildlife to only have native wood go back in the forest here. You can see the field where they've deforested here, right? And what you want is, it's been fenced for deer. I made another video about this that's on YouTube, where you can see me talking up there about the Vikings and also this project. So it's already fenced for deer, so that protects the wood that's planted in there from deer eating the bark and eating the young leaves. And the thing is to only put in native wood, and that's our native wood for our area. Glen the Downs, of course, is a national park, right? So that's different. It doesn't necessarily serve our area as a park in terms of a woodland park, but this does. And this is a brilliant asset to the people of Dalgy in the area, because you can have tourists come, they can go up there, and from that viewing station they can recreate, in a sense, what the Vikings would have seen. So the Vikings would have seen from here to Braehead to Dalkey. This is Dalkey over here, then you've Howth here, and you've Lambay Island in the background in Ireland's Eye. So you can see all these islands going along, and it's really fascinating. And one of the ways that the ancient Greeks used to send messages was through a flag system, where guys would wave flags on top of each hill, and a fire system. So you'd set a fire in Coola Gad, he'd set a fire in Braehead, they'd set a fire at Dalkey. Dalkey would then signal to Howth, and so on, and you could send a message in a very short period of time that you were being attacked or different things like that. And that's really fascinating. It'd be a great thing to recreate. But the main focus for this video is just to introduce to the people this concept that when you're looking at your landscape, to start to think, how can our landscape literally save nature, and how can it also cool our area? Because with climate change, your area is going to heat up. It's also going to have, in Ireland, we're going to have a lot more rain. So you want that the land doesn't get eroded quickly. You want that the trees are holding your soil together. So what this does here is, by adding your trees there, you're giving a massive area for biodiversity, for your badgers, your foxes, your rabbits, all the things that are necessary for life. You're keeping the deer out. That's really important for people who don't know about it. Your deer will eat all your young trees. So you have no what's called succession, no correct succession in your trees. It means there's proper inheritance in your forest, and it keeps growing and taking care of itself. Because we don't have wolves, the deers can eat at will. No one is predating on them. So they have nothing to be afraid of. They can just go wherever they want, eat as long as they want, and wipe out all your young trees. So this is why it's so important to protect these areas from deer. And also, a large culling of deer should take place in Wicklow and Ireland as a whole. We should only have the red deer, which is native to Ireland, and the other stock should be removed, brought back to Japan, or it should be culled completely. And people who love the environment, nature, may find that unusual, but when you understand the impact the deer has, that it wipes out all your future forests, you then realize that all your birds get wiped out, your squirrels, every single system collapses. So I'm sure nature lovers love all nature. So we have to make sure that we act as the wolf, and we have to keep the deer on the move, where they go from one forest to the other, but they never wipe out that wood, and that's really important. But yeah, if people can imagine that as a large native wood, and then it would be great to connect that wood up to the woods around the Little Sugarloaf. So this should be returned from non-native, it's conifer at the moment, to native wood. And then imagine a ring around there of native wood, and then that connects over to Braehead. And on Braehead, we work with Lord Meath and the other landowners, but I'm pretty sure Lord Mead owns Braehead. And along the edge there, where the gorse line is, you're going to plant all your native species: Scots pine, oak, the dwarf willow, juniper, all the trees that will grow in the slightly higher plane, which is there. and that helps with fire protection. So you'll know that there was a fire in 2018 here. It came right up to the edge of those houses. They were so lucky. And the oak trees that are up on the hill, you can see some of them along the side there, and the other side as well. They did get burned, but they survived. You know, they and it's so interesting that they're along the break line where it stopped. So the gorse, as you know, goes up like this, right? It's really, look at the birds. The gorse goes up really fast when it's dry, and the heather. But if you actually have trees in a bank, they act as a natural fire bank because they keep the ground around them in shade, they keep it wetter. The leaf litter creates soil. It starts to actually make your soil thicker, and that soil burns slower than the soil that the heather and the gorse is on. So it actually will help these houses have natural fire defense, you know. Anyway, so that's just a little on Cúlagad just behind us. Thank you.